Well, the New York Post reports the unthinkable that most agents guarding Trump during the assassination attempt weren't even Secret Service. Listen to this. Senator Josh Hawley explained that he'd been informed by whistleblowers that most of the agents assigned to protect Donald Trump during the assassination attempt at his Butler, Pennsylvania rally in July were Homeland Security personnel who had minimal protective training. Instead of having dozens of Secret Service agents on his detail for the July 13th rally, Trump was mostly guarded by Homeland Security agents who only received online webinar training before the event. He said in an interview with Jesse Watters Primetime Tuesday evening, a 2-hour online webinar, and I'm told that half the time the sounds to the webinar didn't even work, Hawley claimed. It goes on to explain here that, so think about this, the former president, the U.S. is sent out on stage. Most of the people there are not trained. They're not qualified. They only got a webinar training that didn't even work, he scoffed. It's absolutely outrageous. Now, to talk about this, we have the clip for you directly. Here is Hawley on Jesse Watters' watch.
So what now are we hearing from whistleblowers, Senator?
Well, what I've heard tonight, Jesse, is that most of the agents who were there at that rally in Butler were not Secret Service agents. They were, in fact, Homeland Security agents. And get this, most of those Homeland Security agents, the only training that they received was an online webinar, a 2-hour online webinar. And I'm told that about half the time, the sound to the webinar didn't even work. So think about this. The president of the United States, former president of the United States, Donald Trump, is sent out on stage. Most of the people there aren't trained. They're not qualified. They only got a webinar training, and even that didn't work. It is absolutely outrageous.
You're saying, and if we're to believe that there's this big Iranian threat, that this is coming down the pike and they had to beef up security, their idea of beefing up security was not putting more Secret Service agents and counter snipers, was just throwing in a bunch of guys that have never done this before from Homeland Security and sending them into some Zoom training that didn't work?
That's exactly right. I'm told that actually Homeland Security agents were pulled off of child exploitation cases, child endangerment cases, the stuff they normally do. They don't normally do protective detail work at all. They were pulled off those cases, said, here, you're going to go guard the former president of the United States. Watch this webinar. Oops, it doesn't really work. Oh, that's all right. Go out into the field anyway. Jesse, this is a nightmare, and we still have no answers. The only reason we know this stuff is because of whistleblowers. It's outrageous.
That is absolutely.
So whistleblowers are letting us know that the former president, also who I believe formally won the election, didn't even have Secret Service detail. Like, you can't convince me that this isn't intentional. That's why I always said, like, maybe they didn't train the assassin. Maybe he wasn't directly picked by the CIA, though I would doubt that he wasn't somehow coaxed by the intelligence communities. But at the very least, he was recognized by intelligence communities that he was planning something, and they probably ignored it. His house was cleaned. There wasn't even a trace of someone living there. And then on top of that, it's like they were warned about it when it was happening, so they let him take the shot. And even worse, people want to kill Trump. So if you just put poor security on his team, then eventually someone's going to get to take him out, and you can wash your hands clean like they did. And he could have died. And they wish that he would have died. Listen to this. The New York Post explains that the Homeland Security agents were supposedly pulled off child exploitation cases and other investigations in order to serve on Trump's protective detail, which was something they did not normally do, Hawley added. Hawley also called out the Secret Service and FBI for not sharing more information about the rally, where Trump narrowly avoided an assassination attempt by shooter Thomas Matthew Crooks, pictured below. Some sort of a herpes infection or something on his lip. Anyway, the only reason we have this information is because of whistleblowers. Representative Clay Higgins recently revealed that a Butler SWAT team actually got off the first shots that damaged Crook's rifle and halted the shooting spree before the Secret Service finally jumped into action. Wow, so that was the SWAT team? When Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe Jr. testified before Congress about the incident on July 31st, he did not mention the local SWAT team's actions, Watters noted. So the actual thwarting of the attack wasn't even the Secret Service or even the HSI. It was the SWAT team. That's to remind you that the 2024 election is on our doorstep, and Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are knocking on your door. They're pushing for higher taxes and even taxes on unrealized gains. Can you imagine if that actually happened? Well, paying taxes on something you never took profits on is a real possibility. And what would that even do to the economy? Will they come for your money? Are they going to come for your house next? Who knows? But don't wait to find out. Learn how you can protect and diversify everything you've worked for with the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. Goldco has over 6,000 five-star reviews, a bunch of awards, and has helped people just like you purchase over $2.5 billion in gold and silver. Visit vnngold.com, vnngold.com to get your free 2024 gold and silver kit. Plus, you now can get a 10% instant match on bonus silver for qualified accounts. Learn how precious metals like gold and silver can help you. Visit vnngold.com. That's vnngold.com. Now, what the insanity is about this is, we're in a position to where these people knew that Trump was going to be, a sitting target, and they let him sit like that. I want to bring up an old video, or not an old video, but from the 29th, where Kamala Harris was on CNN, and even they were shocked because she called to censor Trump back in 2019. Remember, they've been trying to remove his voice from the very beginning. Listen.
I guess the question about you I know you wrote to Twitter and the CEO, Jack Dorsey, and asked him to take away the president's Twitter handle, his account. How is that not a violation of free speech? The president has the same rights that you have, that I have, and how would that not just be a slippery slope where they have to ban, half of the people on Twitter?
I've heard that argument, but here's the thing, Jake. First of all, a corporation, which is what Twitter is, it does not have it has obligations, and in this case, Twitter has terms of use policy, and their terms of use dictate who receives the privilege of speaking on that platform and who does not. And Donald Trump has clearly violated the terms of use, and there should be a consequence for that. Not to mention the fact that he has used his platform, being the president of the United States, in a way that has been about inciting fear and potentially inciting harm against a witness to what might be a crime against our country and our democracy. And for that reason, I do believe that it's clear that he has violated the terms of use, and I'm asking that Twitter does what it has done in previous occasions, which is to revoke someone's privilege because they've not lived up to the advantages of the.
So they've been trying to silence him for how long? I don't even know when this clip was filmed, but I think it was probably filmed several years ago. I think it might even be back to 2019. I don't know the exact time and date, but I can tell you this: they've been trying to remove his voice for years now, for almost a decade. Really, that's where we're at. Think about that. Since 2015. And now they're going to come after you. Remember, this type of negligence doesn't happen on accident. This incompetence is on purpose. Now, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. You can follow us at Vigilant News. We're on Rumble and X. But if you want videos like this direct to your inbox, sign up for our newsletter at vigilantnews.com. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Have a great rest of the week. And may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.